Welcome to Securing America with me, Frank Gaffney, the program that's a kind of owner's manual for protecting the country we love against all enemies, foreign and domestic, to God's glory and that of his kingdom. We have the privilege from time to time of talking with a man who has devoted his life, both by oath and in practice, to protecting the country we love against all enemies, foreign and domestic. He's our duty expert, in particular, on what is going on in terms of internal threats to our nation at the moment that have some pretty unsavory roots, as it happens. His name is Charles Sam Faddis. He served in the uniform of the United States Army and without a uniform as a clandestine services member of the Central Intelligence Agency's organization. He has been a candidate for Congress. He is an author of fiction and nonfiction works. These days, he is the driving force behind a terrific online resource, andmagazine.com. You can follow its work at Substack. It's always great to have a chance to catch up with Sam. Welcome back, sir. Good to have you.
Thanks for having me, Frank, as always.
These are challenging times, Sam, as you understand better than just about anybody. We have two blocks here, and I want to split our time between some of the threats that we're facing internally at the moment and some of the things that you are working on to try to assure that we meet the challenges they pose and preserve our constitutional republic, as I mentioned you've sworn an oath to do. Let's start with an outfit called Jane's Revenge, which I confess I'd never heard of before you wrote it up. Who are these folks? What is their agenda? And how does it tie into other enemy operations inside the United States now?
Well, Jane's Revenge is a group that is, supposedly dedicated to the proposition that Roe v. Wade is going to be overturned and this is going to be somehow disastrous for women in the United States. That's sort of the central theme. But Jane's Revenge is an expressly violent, anarchist, Marxist group. Those two terms maybe shouldn't actually just be mixed together so easily, but their philosophy is a little muddled, so I'll go ahead and do it. And they are dedicated to violence against anybody who's basically anybody who's proposing an alternative to abortion, and really, the pointy end of their spear is directed at Christian organizations that are providing counseling for pregnant women who are thinking about, what am I going to do? I'm not married. I don't know if I can have this child. Providing counseling, alternatives, adoption. Anybody who's talking about doing anything other than aborting the child, they're not just opposed to them. They're already directing violence against them already. And it's not just graffiti and smashing windows, not that that's minor, but they've already moved on to Molotov cocktails. So they're burning places. And if you look at the stuff that they're putting out online, they've got some sort of animations which depict what they intend to do, what they want to do. And one of those expressly shows them detonating an entire building, blowing up an entire building.
Wow.
So these these are Marxist terrorists who are already violent and apparently intend to escalate it significantly.
And there seem to be others that they may be making common cause with, if not in a literal sense, certainly in the more abstract sense. Talk about another outfit, Rise Up for Abortion Rights, Sam. Who are these guys and what's the wellspring of their support?
Yeah, so Rise Up for Abortion Rights is a great example, right? Because it goes to the heart of what's really happening here. For a long time, going back to the Summer of Love, a lot of the mainstream media just wants to sort of pretend that even when cities are burning and precincts are being destroyed, that this is somehow just peaceful protest, and it's always spontaneous. It's just the local people, and they're just upset about things. And if you didn't oppress them so much, they wouldn't get so angry. And of course, that's not what's going on at all, right? It's very organized. There's a lot of money behind it. And Rise Up for Abortion Rights is, if you look online and you look at sort of any disturbance that's going on anywhere in the country right now related to the supposed pending decision from the Supreme Court, you'll see Rise Up for Abortion Rights at the heart of it. Well, it is a creation. And by that, I mean literally that whole cloth of an organization called the Revolutionary Communist Party USA. It's not not speculation, not conjecture. I didn't just make a couple of leaps of faith. Take you about 5 minutes actually to dig into that because the Revolutionary Communist Party USA brags about it, and because their leadership is, they're all the point people in Rise Up for Abortion Rights, like a lady named Sunsara Taylor. She's the number one speaker. Revolutionary Communist Party USA is exactly what it sounds like, as incredible as that is in 2022 in the United States. It's a old school, hardcore communist organization, complete with a constitution for what they want to create, which is called the Socialist Republic of North America. And it's online. You can read it. And the Revcoms, as they call themselves, they want, I mean, Joseph Stalin himself, or for that matter, Lenin, or even Marx, maybe, could have written this document. It is unapologetic. They haven't sanded off any of the rough edges. They want to turn the United States into the USSR. And these are the guys that created Rise Up for Abortion Rights and fund it and speak for it. So, which makes it that much more staggering, of course, that you can watch news coverage of events by Rise Up for Abortion Rights all over the country, and nobody will mention the obvious fact that this is a Marxist organization and it seeks the overthrow of the republic
Yeah.
expressly in their own words.
Sam, this is one of the reasons why we value so much what you do at And Magazine. You do connect those dots, and you do tell people the true character of what we're confronting. And I guess the the larger question is, we're watching this happen, this violence, these threats of violence, directed not just at counseling centers or Christian organizations or others that are seeking to provide support for people confronting the choice of abortion or saving the life of the child. But there's also actual threats of murderous attacks against Supreme Court justices. Brett Kavanaugh, most especially in this recent instance. When you look at what's afoot, it seems as though this is of a piece with the violence of 2 years ago in terms of having very far reaching ambitions to take down really our constitutional republic, the institutions of it, the leadership of it, and the like. And that violence is very much part of the game. This time around, it's not seemingly racism, it's going to be the abortion pretext. Have I got that right, do you think?
Yeah, I think you got it right, and I think your use of the word pretext is dead on. Right, the same groups, same agenda. It's all the same people, and where they want to go with this is the same. There will be a different pretext to justify this, but they have legitimized the use of violence, and it is already escalating, and it's going to continue to escalate. Yeah, and our look, our administration at a minimum is aiding and abetting this by virtue of not doing anything about it. I
Yes.
would suggest it's further than that because they're deliberately using violence. But you got the Department of Homeland Security is concerned about parents at school board meetings and
Right.
issuing warning bulletins and considering going out and arresting them, but they can't stop these guys.
And Merrick Garland seems to be intent on looking the other way at the Department of Justice. Sam, we're going to take a very brief break. When we come back, I want to ask you about what you're doing on the ground in Pennsylvania to try to protect this constitutional republic. That and more straight ahead.